This is DMG on 7D System, and this video is the next one in our storytelling in RPG series. We're going to talk about the narrative choice. So in the previous video we talked about the hook. So you're presenting the players with an adventuring lure. In this, we're talking about the choice. So a lot of times when the players are presented with a hook, they may either not know that it is a hook and try to bluster along on their merry way, or they don't seem terribly interested in it. This is called the refusal of the call to adventure, and there's always some form of doubt in the player's mind as to whether to proceed or not. So to combine with the hook, you also need to build in the element of a choice. So in refusing to take up this adventure, the players must be making a choice, which is one of three basic choices. Now, these three choices were beautifully exposed on the channel Drunkens and Dragons with Hankrin Fernell, and he goes into this into a lot more depth than what I will in this video, but at least this is exposing you to the idea of these three choices, which are the moral imperative, duty, and consequence. So one of these three needs to be intricately tied into the hook in order to create that choice in the mind of the players. They're either going to choose to do this or not choose to do this, and not choosing to do it will have some sort of effect, and choosing to do it will have some sort of effect. And it's up to the director or the game master of the game to not push the choice too much on them. They need to make the choice themselves. It should not be something where you choose for them. They should make the choice out of their own mind. So whether they actually do choose to do it or don't choose to do it, whichever way it goes, you as the director or the game master need to follow along with that and play along. Don't force them to do it. So the moral imperative is the right thing to do. So by making the choice to do this, it's the right thing to do. We should help these people because otherwise they will all perish. That is the right thing to do. The opposite of that is obviously the wrong thing to do. I don't care about these people. If they all die, it's of no consequence to me. I'm going to go on my merry way because all I want is gold. Both of those decisions you need to weigh up as the director or the writer of the campaign. You need to look at those and say, will these players make the moral choice, and that way they will then follow the story as it progresses, or will they make the opposite choice, where you could say the immoral choice, where they decide not to do that. Now you as the game master or the director of the game will know how your players will react to some extent, and so you need to be able to massage your game so that you can play each whatever, if they decide that the village must die, then the village must die. But then you have to come up with the consequences of that. And obviously if the story is all about how they save the village, then of course you have that already set up in your outline. Now, always expect that the players are going to do things that you don't realize or can think of. They're going to go totally off your train of thought. So fully expect that to happen. The second aspect is duty. So duty means it's the duty of the players to perform these actions. So if the players are soldiers in the city guard and a crime has been committed, they must go and investigate the crime. It's their duty to do so. It's a matter of honor. If they do not do that, then they get drummed out of the city guard because why are they there? And the third one is consequence, where the players will feel that their characters will be negatively affected in some way if they don't choose to do this. So for instance, if there's a large bounty of 1,000 gold pieces or 1,000,000 credits if they capture some guy in a sci-fi game, if they don't do this, they miss out on the 1,000 or the 1,000,000, and that is the consequence. So these three elements are very important to tie in with the hook in order for the story to progress. Now it's very important if they do take the wrong choice, the choice that you don't really want them to take, that you play along. Now, you know, you don't want to try and steer them back and all this kind of thing immediately. You may want to do that later on in a later game or a later session because you've written this whole thing. You don't do it immediately. You can come back around it from another angle. Of course, if it's something where there's going to be an immediate consequence, the brigands are attacking, well, stuff this, we're leaving, and they burn the village down, that's the immediate consequence of that. But if it's something where, you know, they've got a few months, they can come back to it, you know, then you can swing it back around, or just change the labels and do it in the next town. There's one final thing which is more so for more advanced players, but you can use it in entry level if you like, and that's the dilemma. Now, the dilemma is that you have two bad choices, and they don't really want to choose either of them, but they kind of have to choose one. So the outcome of the dilemma is negative no matter which way they go. So whether it's a moral choice, or it's a duty, or it's a consequence, the outcome is going to be negative. So I would use that sparingly. That's really you're stepping up to a more advanced level there in terms of storytelling, because there's going to be a lot more that you're going to have to do as a director or the writer of the game in order to follow through with those two bad choices. So you don't want the players to have to go, oh my god, we have no choice, there's nothing we can do, and you don't want every single game to be like that. There must be a place and a time for heroes. So that's the choice. In the next video, we can talk about the mentor in our continuing series on storytelling in RPGs. If you like this video, click the like button. If you'd like to see future videos, subscribe to this channel by going to youtube.com/70system. You can visit the website 70system.com, and there's social media, Facebook and Twitter /70system, and those require like buttons as well. If you'd like to support these videos, check out patreon.com/70system, and there's multiple reward levels available there. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one.